looks like this week we're adding an extra scoop of sadness to the sad, weird, awesome Sunday that is Doom Patrol. Greetings, geeks and geek girls. It is me, I'm back for another Doom Patrol, as I previously mentioned. And also, as I previously mentioned, this one was kind of sad. But anyway, before I get into specifics, spoiler warning, if you guys haven't seen it, go watch it and then come back and tell me what you think in the comments down below. So let's dive into this. The team is investigating Doom Patrol because they're like, that's the only lead that we have right now. And we find out that Rita used to date their leader. But it's been a long time. However, V, I believe that's her name, or Vex, Jane's teleporter personality takes over for a second, grabs Larry, grabs Rita, and teleports them to their last known location. And they find a school there. Then they also find the 3 members of the Doom Patrol. And they haven't aged a day. We have Tempest, who can control fire and ice. We have, I'm forgetting her name, and she has like Magneto-esque powers, it looks like. And then we've got Mento, who's the leader and has like psychic abilities, but he's like super powerful, like Professor Xavier Legion type mental abilities. And he's got a helmet that increases them. And they currently run a school for metahumans. Also on top of that is a very mysterious headmaster who is played by a familiar face actor who's been in like cop shows and stuff, who says that he has powers but doesn't go into detail. And Larry says that he is familiar, that he looks familiar, and he says that he was in the military for a little bit. So I could maybe go into why in another video or in a later date, but I think he might be the big bad for next season. But let's move on. The team is being escorted. Jane is talking with the headmaster. Larry's talking with Tempest. Rita's talking with Mento. And things seem a bit off. Not everything that the headmaster is saying is adding up. Neither is what Tempest is saying, because she's talking about Niles in the present and that she's married to Niles. Then they find out that the Doom Patrol actually faced Mr. Negative. And oh boy, that story just... I'd go into detail, but I don't want to be here all day. But let's just say it involved a butt balloon, a jukebox that made people go crazy, cops being turned into pinatas and then smashed open for their candy. Then the Doom Patrol come in and they apparently stop things, but we don't see them actually doing it. And everyone has a different story of how it happened. And then Rita is in the trophy room with Mento. And they're talking about all their trophies, which they don't talk about it, but the God-Killer sword from Wonder Woman is in there for some reason. And then also another thing that they specifically point out is the robotic body of Ultimax. That just makes me nerd out. Because I love Ultimax. He's a weird, creepy villain. And if you guys watch the Teen Titans cartoon, the original one, you should be very familiar with him. He was a reoccurring villain, especially for Gar, who was, in that universe, a former member of the Doom Patrol. And Mento even says that the brain escaped. So, I'd love to see for the brain return. Because my theory is that either Caretaker Guy is the villain for next season, or a new Brotherhood of Evil is going to be the villain. Because they name dropped Brotherhood of Evil numerous times in this episode. But either way, I'm excited. Getting back to the plot though. As Mento and Rita are talking, Rita mentions Mr. Negative. That causes Mento to lose grip, go to his dark place. Apparently, Caretaker reveals that this is all fake. We see that the three metahumans are how old they should be, because they look as old as they were in the photos, not how they should be now. And so now we see them as the ages that they should be, and that they've all gone cuckoo and all of that. And Mento, even his powers go overload and he starts threatening everyone with their fears. Larry about his boyfriend, but his boyfriend now has syringe fingers for some reason. Jane has a flood of puzzle pieces, and a hand reaches up from the flood that's talking about Sweet Baby, which gives me creepy implications about how Jane was born. Like the way that how Jane was born and how Baby Doll was born. Because he keeps saying Sweet Baby. Ugh. So, and then the headmaster dude, who now we find out is just a caretaker for the three people. We find out that he is seeing Niles, and a creepy version of Niles that's telling him that it's time for him to do what he does best. But he says, no, I don't do that anymore. So, more furthering possible theory. But, anyway, the negative entity comes out of Larry, phrasing, and takes the hat off of Mento, gives it to Rita. The team find out the truth, which includes the fact that in the Mr. Negative fight, Mr. Negative 1 drove all of them crazy, and Caretaker Dude and Niles came together to create this fake world for them so that they could live out the rest of their days in peace and blissful ignorance. So that's sad. But also we find out that Mr. Negative probably brought them there to deter them from looking for him and looking for Niles. So, yeah. Rita gives a sad goodbye. We also, by the way, in this episode, we found out a lot about Rita's past, how she's accidentally killed people, including one woman who slit her wrists in front of her. But we don't find out much about that. We do hear a crying baby in the background, so maybe it's tied to the whole baby thing from episode 2. Maybe we'll find out more about it later. But for now, it's just weird and sad. Anyway, B-plot for the episode involved Cliff and Cyborg, which just basically boiled down to Cyborg having to go into sleep mode and his dad upgrading his body, hard booting his body after he had his accident, and Cliff tells off the father, and then Cyborg helps Cliff to catfish his daughter's on her face hole. And it's here Cliff finds out that his daughter has said here with Dad, and Dad is the dude that was like the head of his pit crew that was sleeping with his wife. So he gets pissed off, and that's how the episode ends. And a little bit of spoiler for next time. We find out that Cliff's rage is like the focus of next week, because next week is called Therapy Patrol, which is a lot better, like, rolling off the tongue instead of this week, which was Doom Patrol. But still, even with the strange name, I still enjoy this. Thank you guys for watching. Next time you see me will be for Supergirl. But that's it for now. Till next time. And beyond. Maybe Supergirl can change my mood. Wait, yeah. It's another Lex episode.